What's up everyone, Kayse here of Life's Amazing Journey and the CDA. Today we're talking about Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. So, during either player's turn, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can discard this card from your hand to reveal one card in your extra deck. Now you get to look in your opponent's extra deck and banish all cards with the same name. Now even if you reveal a card that isn't the name of a card in your opponent's extra deck, you can still look in their extra deck, which is phenomenal. You now know what they're playing, you know exactly what they could summon and what they can't summon. It's really good information to have. But if you happen to get it right, let's say you already know what your opponent's playing, so you reveal their best card in their entire extra deck. Now you get to banish all copies of it, which is most likely pretty crucial for the strategy. Now I can already see some things that are wrong with this card. One, it takes up space from your extra deck. Not the card itself, but you have to put cards in your extra deck in accordance with its effect. Therefore, the amount of cards that you could actually play for your own specific deck is less. But sometimes you don't even need all 15 cards in your extra deck. Sometimes you need more. But sometimes you don't need them all. And that's where this card comes in. Also, if you're playing a mirror match, it doesn't say that you have to banish the card that you revealed. Meaning you get to keep that card in your extra deck. So let's say you're playing Burning Abyss, right? And you have Dante and you're playing a mirror match against a Burning Abyss player. Now you can reveal your own Dante to banish all their Dantes, and then you get to keep your Dante, so you could still play, but they have to go, damn, this sucks. So it's pretty cool. There's also the problem of you not knowing what your opponent's playing. And since you can only put so many cards in your extra deck to counter them, you can either put some cards in your side deck, but then that lowers the amount of cards that you can side against other decks, and maybe you wanted to put in some cards for your main deck, not just your extra deck. So, if you only have limited space, you want to make sure that you put in the right cards according to the meta. Now the meta is going to constantly change, but as of right now, there's some pretty good cards that you might want to run, and we're going to talk about those right now. Some of these cards aren't meta, and then some of them are, but I personally have seen these cards being played against me with certain decks lately. Now your locals will be different and your big tournaments will be different, so you'll see different decks, and also later on more decks will come out, so the cards that you're going to play will be different. But as of right now and what I've seen, this is my list. Alright, so first we have ABC Dragon Buster. You play this card by banishing A, B, and C from either your field or graveyard. You get this guy out, super easy. So this card is very meta as of filming this video. So if you put this in your extra deck, you're going to be set for this deck. Now there are some counters to this. So if you're an ABC Dragon Buster player, you might want to take note of this. If you run NECROFACE, you could actually put the banished ABC Dragon Busters back into your extra deck. So you're still in the game instead of being kind of knocked out. So pretty good. Alright, next up, RAIDRAPTOR Ultimate Falcon. Now, when people are playing this card, it gives you a perfect setup to stop them because they have to play the RAIDRAPTOR rank up card. So, from what I do is I use the level 1, I tribute it off, I summon the satellite cannon, I think it's called. Summon that, then you play the RAIDRAPTOR Force or whatever rank up that you want that will work. And then you get a rank up into this guy. Well, the second I play the rank up card, you discard your Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, then banish my Ultimate Falcon. Now, I get nothing. Really good. Next we have Norden. Now, Norden is also another really good card that everybody's playing right now. If you put Norden into your extra deck, then when someone plays Instant Fusion, you can banish Norden and they get nothing. Unless they have another card that they can summon with the Instant Fusion. Which brings me to the next card that I'm going to talk about, Thousand Eyes Restrict. Thousand Eyes Restrict is also another card that you could play with Instant Fusion. So if you put that in your extra deck, then you can stop that card from being played as well. But you gotta know your opponent's playing it. But let's say you want to cover all your bases and you have some extra slots. Put in Norden and Thousand Eyes Restrict, and then you're set. What are they going to play? A regular 4? Okay, just let them have it. Next we have Masked Hero Dark Law. This card is also another card that you can prepare for. Now you can pretty much put any hero you want in your extra deck to stop your opponent's plays. But we're just going to talk about Dark Law here, and I'm also going to talk about Acid right after. So, Dark Law. If your opponent plays Mass Change second or Mass Change or whatever, right? And they're gonna try to play Dark Law against you, you can set up for that. They have a Dark Monster, they played the card, now discard your Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries, banish the Dark Law, and then they gotta try to think what else they're gonna do. They might have an alternative strategy, but it's probably not the one they wanted. They probably wanted to do Dark Law, so you just stop their play. Plus, Dark Law's pretty beast, so if you stop him from getting played, it's good. Next up we have Masked Hero Acid. This is also another card that you can set up perfectly for. Now, since water monsters are being played right now because of Totally Awesome, which is another card you might want to put in there. But since water monsters are being played right now, it's actually pretty possible that they might summon Masked Hero Acid on you. And since they have a water monster and they play the Mask Change card, it gives you the perfect moment to banish the acid so they can't play it. And then they just wasted a whole bunch of stuff. If they played Mask Change second, they just had to discard a card for nothing. So it's pretty great. Next up we have ARCHFIEND Black Skull Dragon. Now this card also gives you the perfect setup because they have to play the spell that summons it. What is that called? I'm spacing on the spell card right now. If you guys remember the name of it, post it in the comments below. I don't remember it, but it summons out ARCHFIEND Black Skull Dragon. All you gotta do is send Summon Skull and Red Eyes Black Dragon from your deck to the graveyard and you summon this guy. So, the second they play the spell, right, and they're doing all this stuff, right, you'd be like, banish? And then they just gotta be like, oh, I don't get anything. That sucks. But yeah, pretty good. Next up we got Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Blue Eyes is a pretty hot deck right now, so banishing the Spirit Dragon really hurts them because it's one of their best cards. Also, another card that you might want to stop is the Azure Eyes Dragon, or Azure, however you say that card. You want to stop that card because that card's crazy too, and it'll bring back other dragons from the graveyard so then they can play more cards, and you just don't want that. So you stop that card from being played as well. So if you put both of those in your extra deck, you're pretty much set. Next up we have Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss. You put this card into your extra deck to stop your opponent from playing Dante. Now if they're playing a Burning Abyss deck, banishing their Dante pretty much shuts them out. They can still play other rank 3s, but Dante's really the one they wanted. So you really hurt them really bad by doing that, and they might be out of the game now. I mean, they could still maybe make a comeback, but their deck's definitely not going to be as effective as it was had you not banished their Dante. So Dante, definitely one that you might want to consider. And you do have a decent setup. Once they have 2 3s out, discard right there. Now they have to choose a different 3 to bring out. So, pretty good. Also, as I said earlier, if you are a Burning Abyss player and you banish their Dante, you're the only one that has Dante now, and you have the advantage. So even in a mirror match, banishing Dante is still really good, and you know you're going to have Dante because you're a Burning Abyss player. So it doesn't take up any extra slots that you wouldn't have normally taken up had you not played Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries. Another card you might want to consider is DOWNERD Magician. DOWNERD Magician pierces, which is really good, and it's also another card that they pretty much put on top of anything that's already been used, and it's pretty much useless now. Now if you banish the DOWNERD Magician, they're just stuck with the useless card. Cyber Dragon Nova. Now Cyber Dragon Nova itself is a very good card, so stopping them from being able to get that card out itself is really good. But the reason why you put this in your extra deck is to stop them from summoning this. Cyber Dragon Infinity. Cyber Dragon Infinity is so crucial that if this card gets out, it's going to be really tough for you to win the game. Trust me, you want to stop this. It is really easy to get over if you have the answers. Like you could run a kaiju, or you could have multiple answers in your hand, like say Regeki Dark Hole, whatever. But you have to use resources in order to stop it. And why would you waste resources when you don't have to, when you could just get rid of it from ever being played? Also, there's the possibility that they have more than one. And if they have more than one, that's gonna be really challenging. So why not just solve the problem in the first place? Now they're gonna need Cyber Dragon Nova to get this out. At least right now. I don't know if they're gonna bring out any cards in the future that will make it easier to get out or possible to get out or whatever. But as of right now, Cyber Dragon Nova is the card to stop because that is how they get out Cyber Dragon Infinity. So if you banish the Cyber Dragon Nova, now they can't run Cyber Dragon Infinity. So basically one card just took out 2 cards. If you play Cyber Dragon Infinity in your extra deck, not only do you have to pay more money because Cyber Dragon Infinity is more expensive, but they're going to have Cyber Dragon Nova on the field, which by itself is a really good card. Not as crucial as Infinity, but still a really good card. Why not stop them both with one card by running Cyber Dragon Nova? But you could run Cyber Dragon Infinity if you want to. Next up, Dang Long. Okay, first of all, that's the funniest name ever. Alright. So, Dang Long, really good card, and you're going to want to stop this from being played. Because when it's summoned, they get to get a card. Why would you want to give your opponent free cards? Also, it's a tuner. meaning they can use it in other cards. Why would you want to help your opponent out? By getting rid of this card, you help to shut down your opponent's deck and stop them from getting free cards. When your opponent gets free cards, it hurts you because now your opponent has an advantage over you. You don't want your opponent to have an advantage over you ever. And this is where putting this card in your extra deck makes sense. Plus I played against the Yangzing deck and they brought this card out so much and they use this card to play other cards, and it's just why go through the headaches when you could just put this card in your extra deck and stop them from being able to play in the first place. Another really good card to play is TG Hyperlibrarian. TG Hyperlibrarian is the card that effectively makes Quasar decks work. By stopping this card from ever being played, you are shutting down Quasar decks. So if you ever go against a Quasar deck, you don't have to worry. Quasar decks are really hard to get over once they got their Quasar out, and there are decks that can run multiple Quasars. Yes, you could also run Shooting Quasar Dragon if you know your opponent's running a Quasar deck. But TG Hyperlibrarian can be played in pretty much any deck that synchro summons. I know there's not a lot of them right now, but who knows, maybe in the future there will be. But yes, you might want to opt for the Shooting Quasar in your deck, but TG Hyperlibrarian is also an option. Alright, so there's my list. I know there's a bunch more, so let me hear about them in the comments below. Don't forget to smash the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the CDA and my channel, Life's Amazing Journey. Until next time, I'm officially Kayse, and I'm officially signing off. Peace out, everyone.